you can't come down here like publicly and just have a.
No, it's locked.
Or is it
Well,
all
the
locked?
gates are normally locked, and
Oh,
certainly
okay.
you're not allowed any dogs on here.
Yeah, this is a restricted area.
Yeah. And they don't want people in here. They're so lucky.
I saw the what was it like the template for it up there? 650 grand, the grant.
Oh, for the new
Thing. Is that's sort of not done yet, is it?
Did they
Or
get
they
that?
didn't do that?
Did they get that? I don't know
I
that
think so.
they got it already. Oh, okay. So what? It's a new club roof, isn't it, or something?
I don't know, yeah, because it had like the pictures of the grounds, and then it had like a bunch of other stuff. It was like 650 grand. It was in 2016.
Yeah.
So I thought
Maybe they don't have. Maybe they would. Oh, I think maybe they didn't quite get enough to complete what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Maybe they had to get a bit more. Yeah.
a bit more stuff done.
Yeah.
So you want to come in tonight?
Yeah, that's it.
You still playing?
No.
Your knee?
Yeah, I did
Just
both my
saying,
knees.
surely he can come back a third time. People have.
It
He's only
was a
young.
nightmare.
It's the same knee both times.
No,
it was a
other
different
leg.
one.
I think I was 15. That's the other leg. I didn't think that'd be the stronger one, but I think it was just like, probably put too much pressure on my right leg because I was compensating, and then maybe now it's evened up.
You're paranoid about doing the other one, and then
It does make you a bit paranoid when you slide tackle or do anything now. So, what about Harrow though? He did his on the same knee twice again, same like me. But
who was that?
Harrison.
Thomas.
Oh,
Harrison
yes.
Thomas. Yeah.
He's had bad luck with his injuries.
So is he playing again?
I haven't seen him around.
No.
He did his like 2 weeks after me, or 3 weeks, and then surgery around a month after mine. So he'd be out for another like couple months, I think, still. That's like a year. But I don't know, because if you're doing the same knee, because you already had a replacement, it gets weaker and weaker each time.
It's interesting. It's like I often think about that because think about Lionel Messi. He never gets injured, does he? Or hardly ever. He plays all the games. He never gets injured. Some people must be just designed that they they don't get like injured.
He did have a bad patella injury.
Oh, did he?
Which kept him out for weeks and weeks.
Oh, okay.
So he goes back to Argentina and
gets goat blood or something.
I don't know about that, but they can treat him there, so he goes home.
Exactly. So then it's like Tottenham. They've had some terrible injuries.
Maybe it's because he's so low to the ground.
Probably.
Good center of gravity, like, and tall you are, and like your limbs are out.
Yeah, he can ride tackles, you know, low center of gravity.
Keeps you strong.
This morning's games will be interesting, won't they?
Oh
my God! That is just. I mean, commentators were saying that maybe it's because they're all getting a bit past their use-by date because Ajax had under 22-year-olds or something. So Here we go again, Rob, for another year.
How's Ned and stuff going?
Well, Ned's good. He's just finished training, so he's gone home because he was saturated because the rain came and left and came and left. It was really freezing up in this place. Max is good. Max is at Melbourne City, you know.
Is he Melbourne City?
Coaching at Melbourne City.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
He's
that's
their
awesome.
under 14-15 academy coach. And he's doing his PE teaching degree at uni at the same time. Yeah, because he couldn't do it here. He couldn't do a secondary one here unless he went to Launceston. He wasn't doing it.
So does he fly down?
He's coming home this weekend, but he doesn't come very often at the moment because he coaches it most weekends. But
that's cool though.
He's enjoying that. It's like it's everything that we'd love to have, isn't it, in Tasmania? That kind of extra step up in the professionalism.
So is he A or B?
He's doing finishing his A. Got another. He won't finish till later this year.
Yeah, that's very good though. Because I don't know how many A license coaches.
It's not many in Tasmania.
Like a couple.
Ken and Edo and I think Coughlin up at Devonport's got one.
NTC coach, English guy.
No, we don't have an NTC coach anymore. Dean May.
No, after him.
Oh,
that guy, he was
No,
good.
he left too. He left. What was his name? The one that went to Olympia. The one that there was friends with West Australia and brought over Ball Sam and everybody. That one.
Yeah, all those good guys.
Kenny Weston.
He's good.
Yeah, no, he's gone as well. Yeah. So no, there's not many. That's for sure. Because so if you, they'll be able to hear everything we say when you start talking, won't they?
Yeah, I don't know when he's going to chuck it on.
I'm going to move
He'll
away.
catch everything, Vicky. You've got to watch out.
Hello, guys.
You see all the comments? Like, shut up.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Just waiting for the Queen Elizabeth to come past.
The QE2?
No, the Queen Elizabeth.
Oh.
QE2's replaced.
Oh, so this is a massive big thing?
Yeah, this is her second visit. She came a couple of weeks ago.
I never saw her because I didn't go that way today. I went to town.
Left town at 6 o'clock, so she'll be passing here.
She'll fill up that gap, won't she?
No, not really.
No, but she's big.
Oh, yeah.
Is she still as high class as...
Oh, yeah.
As,
who knows?
Yeah, okay, right.
I hope the light stays.
Yeah, me too. I can only take photos for a little while. My camera's not good enough. I don't know what operates.
Oh, you need top quality.
Yeah. Although
in fact, I'm just about ready to give up night.
Oh, yeah, because you're just not happy enough with it. I found...
Hi, Brendan.
Hi, Brendan. The last time I took photos here, I thought this was the best light going around, though.
It probably is.
Compared to any of the other grounds.
It is.
Certainly KG5 is rubbish and I can't take anything there. And, you know, they're not good enough.
Yeah, I've decided that it's not worth the poor quality. You know, you'll always get photos,
yeah.
but
I mean, I put up some of the ones I took, but a lot of them were a bit blurry, so it's a bit, or there was, you know, that sort of when they move and you get that sort of... That was a good win by the Kingborough women against Zebras. I really thought Zebras would win that.
Go on then, yep, find me. Good.
One more,
Ellie. Yeah.
Oh, there you go, Charlie.
Alrighty, you're on.
I don't want to, no, because I'll talk, because I get nervous and talk, and then it will hear me across the nation and the world.
Oh, Vicky, you alright? Good. Not bad. Yeah, she's alright. She's got 5 weeks to go. How you doing, Walter?
I wonder where he was.
How's things? They're alright. I got him off $10 from that. Yeah. Alright. Oh, you want me? I'll go this way. Come on, Walter.
By the time we go through the middle, and by the time we do this handshakes and everything, it'll be gone.
No, well, the heart rate went up to 117 last night. I think last time we got heart rate.
Goodness, guys, at least you got a excuse for some of your decisions first. No, I'm here already. It would just be looking at me a lot. I can get a yellow card the next week. I take it that you're all. Let's go, boys! Well, they won't. I did tell them. Yeah, there they go, coming up.
Right, just leave the balls over there, mate. Fucking Ricky! We'll clean up after you. Hey, ball, then, go, mate.
Welcome to the Den for round 2 NPL TAS action. It is the Kingborough Lions in their 2019 season bow taking on South Hobart. They'll be lining up for the second time this season, defeated on the opening night by Olympia. That's all we've had in the NPL Tasmania so far this season. The weather forcing the abandonment on Saturday of the triple header, which would have featured the Lions, so they've had a little bit longer to prepare. Different sort of weather afflicting us this evening. It does seem to have cleared up a little bit for kickoff. Plenty of rain about Hobart this afternoon and this evening. Thankfully, that seems to have abated. And conditions pretty good for football tonight. Paul Hunts, what are we expecting from this one?
Well, South Hobart will be, whilst they did lose over, as you mentioned, on Friday night, they'll be probably a little bit fresher in terms of a run-out than Kingborough Lions. Kingborough haven't played for a couple of weeks. Some sides still elect to have a short training session on Saturday instead of a game. I wasn't sure if Kingborough decided on that one as well, but tell you what, Lighwood Park is looking an absolute peach here tonight. We've been here many a time in July, August, September where I couldn't quite describe it as that, but it is an absolute carpet here tonight, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good contest. I expect Kingborough to come out firing early. We'll just see if South Hobart can, with that little bit of extra match fitness, can help grind out a result here.
Yeah, it was, you mentioned the surface. It is an absolute carpet. We saw that on Monday night in the Women's Summer Cup game down here. It was just fantastic for the players. No bobbling of the ball around there as we have a look at the teams about to head out. Our man in the middle, Stratos Plummereid, is the reigning NPL Tasmania referee of the year, so in very good hands, and always a big fan of a bit of mascottery in the NPL Tasmania, and a couple of the young juniors there donning the Lion onesies. Not a bad effort there.
No, not a bad effort at all. Didn't quite seem sliding down the bank like we had here one afternoon last season, but a good start overall for Kingborough. It's a pass mark.
So we might take a look at the starting lineups here in a moment as the players walk out for this contest. It's going to be a cracking affair, I think. Certainly plenty at stake. The Lions know that they got the result early in the season last year against a slightly wounded South Hobart, if you will, who were coming off that opening night defeat to the Hobart Zebras, and we find ourselves in a very similar situation this year. South Hobart won't want to repeat, although to be fair to South, on that game last year I referenced, they really did dominate the contest. It was a bit of a smash and grab action from the Lions. Plenty of new faces in this Kingborough Lions team for this game. We'll get there in a second. Some nice new kits out there too, always of interest early in the season, Paul.
Yeah, very much so. Kingborough, I didn't see a kit launch across my social media early, so it's the first time I'm looking at it. It's not too bad. It's a nice large sponsorship as well. They're certainly getting their money's worth there. The back and front shirt sponsors. South Hobart we saw rocking the 1910, very traditional on their black away kit. I hope they don't start using that too much in the depths of winter, because I may struggle to see them come June, July, August as the teams are out for their coin toss. You'll notice there it's Hugh Ludford taking the captain's armband from the start, which we didn't have on Friday night. He came off the bench midway through that game, I believe. And yeah, Kingborough, did see them down here in a pre-season game against Riverside about a month ago. They were trying to play it out through the wings, which you saw a fair bit last year, obviously losing the speed of the American import Timmy Baker last year, which is a real threat. But I think Kansos, Joe Davis and the like will still look to play that way so far this season.
Yeah, and a new import in the lineup today, Gutierrez Horatio Jr. I think looking forward to seeing what he brings to this lineup. He's been playing in America, and the North American imports have a pretty good track record in this league in the recent years. Almost seems to be the landing spot for them to try and launch into bigger and better things, and we've seen a number of them. As you mentioned, Baker, Tyler Fisher, Giansopoulos last year. There's been a good track record of, I guess, the strike rate. And that's a very loud salad that I'm sure is catching your eye there, Paul.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be great to watch in the first half. But yeah, as you say, Americans are in vogue here. We go through different phases here in Tasmania, and America is definitely the in-country as well. We've seen a few more British imports as well. The Stratos has got the whistle to the mouth. And we'll be ready to go here very shortly under the lovely twilight skies of the Den. It's Kingborough heaving it forward first as far as the Giraffe Oscar Thomas. Luke Farrell looking to play through Albie Lazinski. He's onside here. Lazinski gets in early, and eventually between the two defenders they do enough. It was Nick Zammit coming across from his familiar left-back position, but South Hobart nearly scoring within 10 seconds.
Yeah, now I'll look at teams for you shortly, but you can see Lazinski, Morton and Turner starting an attack. Looks like a fairly similar setup to what we saw personnel-wise last week's. A few shifts at the back as Oscar Thomas perhaps on the right side of the back three again, and I'd expect Adam Gorry to be given every chance to just bomb down that flank again. They'll give him the wing, and here is Adam Gorry working it back to the veteran Huey Ludford across to Bowman in defence.
It's reminding me of Manchester United circa 2008, 2009, as we'll split from that tangent for a second, as Turner nearly gets the ball under his spell, eventually back to Stalker, who'll clear first time, where they had pretty much a 10 set up and then they let Ronaldo run whenever they want. It was pretty much South Hobart are doing this, but having their right back in that position, and there he is on the ball. Adam Gorry looks to play it forward to Morton, but to no avail. That's about the only comparison I can think of, really.
Yeah, they just love opening up the flank. Look, I could tell you as an Everton fan, there was definitely a give Leighton Baines the left wing when Tony Hibbert's your right back kind of approach for a good 5 or 6 years there. So it's not unfamiliar to see a team prioritising a certain flank when you've got a really creative wing back, and Adam Gorry is certainly that, one of the star fullbacks.
Tony Hibbert, the most creative of wing backs I've ever seen.
Yes, very much so. As it's going to be the archer Jack Bowman to look to put this onto the head of Turner. But coming over the top there was the big stalk Nick Cuthbertson, returning down here to the Den this year, and they'll be glad to have him back. A couple of seasons out of the lineup, and he comes back to the club and will bring some real leadership and solidity at the back, along with Joel Schuth there in defence. There's Kieran Brown. We'll have a couple of former teammates harrying him tonight in Brennan and Dowse, who've come across down here for playing opportunities, probably starved of chances at South Hobart, and come down the Den looking to make their mark.
We've commented the last few years how good South Hobart's Challenge League team is, and how a lot of them would certainly be in contention for a starting lineup at most other NPL teams, and we've seen that with Brennan and Dowse. I mean, ironically, Brennan would be pretty close to getting a starting berth tonight here if he was still at South Hobart, with Alex Walter out with concussion. Close to a like-for-like replacement there.
First look at Gutierrez here as he whips in a dangerous-looking ball to the middle of the box, and at the back post, Joel Schuth was unmarked, sliding in. Couldn't quite get there, but very slack marking at the back stick, and almost the opening goal here. Just on the stretch, couldn't quite direct it.
I'm seeing a common theme with imports here in the NPL TAS this year, is they're great set-piece takers. We saw that with Scott for Olympia on Friday night, and Gutierrez, with pretty much his first kick in the competition, does very well to find his teammate at the back post. Promising start here for both sides tonight. While we're on ball retrieval duty, I'll quickly try and run through who's starting for Kingborough. There is Jacob Brennan, Nick Cuthbertson, Kenan Dowse, Chris Downs, Dominic Easton, James Hall, Phil Cansos, Joel Schuth, Mitch Stalker, Nick Zammett, and Horatio Gutierrez Jr., who is by far one of the greatest names
in the history of the NPL.
It rolls off the tongue.
Horatio Jr. I mean, that's the type of work we like.
If we can't think of anything for that, we should just quit, I think.
As Adam Gorry will work this one back to Kieran Brown. The young keeper to Jack Bowman South. He's very keen to move on from that opening night defeat to the Warriors. It finished 2-1, but in reality they were fairly outplayed. It was a comfortable win for the Warriors with the exception of the last 10 minutes or so. We'll rattle through the South Hobart lineup and have the graphics shortly. We've got Bowman, Brown, DeSalza, Farrell, Gorry, Havainen, Lazinski, Ludford, Morton, Thomas and Turner. So Rasmus Phillipson dropping out of the starting lineup. They shake up the defence a little. There's Turner to Loic Farrell. Finds Nick Morton, really came alive late last Friday night, and he puts this one into the middle. Schuth with the block. And Jack Turner happy to take the corner.
First corner of the game coming up for South Hobart. Jack Turner, as he tends to do, bobbing up in the 6-yard box in a promising location. We'll see South take it near post. Easily cleared by Horatio Jr. Good flick over the head there from Cansos. D'Souza coming across to claim. Fires it out to Morton. Nick Morton looking near post to Albie Lazinski. Nice little touch off the thigh there from the big man, but no one running in to the centre of the pass. Oscar Thomas getting a leg in. Out to Morton. Morton back to Bowman. And as we mentioned, keeps his spot in the starting lineup. There was talk during the week with Oscar Thomas likely to come back in. It would be one of Phillipson or Bowman to come out. Oh, that's a misplaced clearance from Kieran Brown. Gutierrez! Oh, he's put it in from 40 out, the new player. Horatio Gutierrez. What a finish.
What a finish indeed, and what a start to this game. Take that, says Horatio Jr. What a way to make your mark on the league. There's a bit of that going about the start of the season. That's an absolute worldie. Kieran Brown scrambling back, can't get there, and South just making an absolute mess of it at the back, and it's the dream start for the Lions.
What a start for the Kingborough Lions, getting one ahead over South Hobart. As we have a look at that again, he was even slipped over as he kicked it as well, and just over the head of the Warhorse, Huey Ludford. Kieran Brown pretty unhappy with himself for that clearance, and now it's up to South again to chase the game twice in a week. They'll have to come from behind after conceding a goal in the first half. Lovely bit of tech is there as well from Dominic Easton. Really getting some tips from the import. Foul committed there on Zammit. And if he can produce more like that, Kingborough have got a new cult hero for the season. Horatio Gutierrez Jr. Absolutely sublime finish. Joel Schuth lines up to take the free kick just inside his own half. Heaves it towards the back post. I think he was aiming for Hall, but didn't quite get the distance on it, and eventually it'll roll through to Kieran Brown. Young keeper rolls it out to Ludford. A few options presenting. One of them out wide is Havainen. And that'll be Lazinski trying to find Morton, and we've seen the first instance there of the infamous Kingborough slope coming into effect there. And it turns away like a Shane Warne Wrongan down that way. Kingborough taking the throw in. Looks it inside. Back to, he's immediately pressured there. Is Easton now going in hard on Turner. Managed to win the ball, but unfairly according to the referee Stratos. Dan Brown, as always, quick out of his technical area. I think he's still itching to get back on the pitch there, Dogger Brown. Every single time he strides forward, it looks like he's about to run on. It's now Gilly to Souser to take. Everyone running towards the near post. He goes back. Well cleared by Lions. Havainen knocks it in. Can't quite get it out now. Gorry immediately pressured there. Good harassment here by Kansos.
I'll tell you what, we've absolutely made a hash of this to start the season, Paul.
Have we?
Yep, that is Chris Downs rocking a very new style. That's a number 10, not number 8. He's finally turned around. That's the problem doing the commentary from this end of the ground.
Since when has he had that haircut?
Yep, full knee. So apologies, viewers at home. We have started the season very sloppy form here, but it's Chris Downs, in fact, who's scored that goal, and that is a real new look from him, real Messiah type haircut that we just assumed must have been Horatio.
You've been watching NPL a bit longer than I have. He's never had a haircut like that, has he?
No, definitely not. So apologies, viewers at home. Correction, Chris Downs with the opener from miles out. And Kingborough, well, the start is the same. 1-0, and South Hobart not looking particularly sharp out of the blocks again.
Chris should just change his name to Horatio anyway. I think everyone should.
Absolutely. I need to re-record some commentary. I left the highlights back.
You know what we'll be doing at half-time?
Turner bustling through here. Hustling his way to the Morthog Morton. Lazinski couldn't control it, but Adam Gorry's free on the right here. It's Gorry now. Turner making a great run through the middle. Might fall for Morton! Immediate response from South Hobart. The Morthog strokes home from close range. And that's just the response South Hobart were looking for.
Getting an immediate response there, South Hobart. Just fell to Morton nicely. Just had to coolly compose himself. Left foot finish into the bottom corner, but we can see the benefit of getting Adam Gorry in some space on that right-hand side, playing a nice wide roll there, getting in behind the defence. As we have a look at the replay, keeper had to come out and make a save as Turner was there to pounce. In the end, it was Nick the Morthog Morton. No mistaking that face here in NPL TAS. Our second leading goal scorer of all time adds to his list. It's back to 1-0, and here he is again. On the ball is the Morthog. Kingborough couldn't quite get it out, so now falls to Albie Lazinski. And Luke Farrell, but instead goes to D'Souza. Finds Gorry. Gorry trying to square up his defender. It goes back to Feral TV. And Ludford to Bowman. Saw this a little bit in pre-season as well, South Hobart. Just playing a little more patient build-up than we've seen from them in previous seasons. Thomas looking for Turner's run down the sideline. Couldn't quite get past Zammit. Eventually falls to Kansos. As well to win the throw-in. Saw good glimpses last season of Phil Kansos. He'll be looking to have a bit more of a consistent season, will the young winger. Be Zammit to throw. Flicked on by Lazinski. Falls to D'Souza. Jack Turner's the furthest forward. Finds Morton. Morton out to Farrell. Now Havinen, who's pushed on. Back to Loic Farrell. Ball to no one in particular. Morton hits it. Deflected off Horatio Downs. Now Farrell. To Bowman. Good ball to Turner. Havinen. They're stringing a few passes together here, South Hobart. Eventually Kingborough do enough to clear it. Bowman to take the throw out to Turner. Turner high to Morton. I think he went for the first time shot there. Did Morton. Falls to D'Souza. Just played it just behind Albie Lazinski. Fall to Mitch Stalker. Using all 7 seconds here is the Kingborough keeper, imploring his team to push up. Good ball down the line, but Deuce couldn't keep a hold of it. Now Morton. Good ball down the line there from Eaton. Unfortunately, it'll be Hugh Ludford to come across and claim that one. Jacob Brennan seems to be playing central striker for Kingborough tonight. Yeah, see if he can use his pace against certainly Ludford. Thomas has got good wheels on him.
No Danny Cowan out there tonight, the regular leader of the line, or perhaps less so in recent seasons where he's been bumped all around the lineup. But speaking in the pre-season, said he fully expected to be back in attack this year, as this one's away by the former Lion Havane. Nodded down, Gilly De Souza, another who called the Den home last year, and he's put it out in front of Gorry. Can he track it down? He can, now charging onto it. There's a very good piece of defending in the end from Nick Zammit, getting across and winning the throw in the process. So nicely done by Zammit against the marauding Gorry, and I think maybe he was after a cheese or something there too. It's won a free kick, but wanted a little bit more by the looks of it there, Zammit.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was just looking down at the team sheet there, so I didn't quite see that one. It'd be a bit early in the game for that. Stalker. There's Cuthbertson short. He wants an option long. Hall's not quite offering, so he'll look to Gutierrez, who gives it away to Turner, sliding in fairly according to Plomaridis. Gorry plays it inside to Loic Farrell's immediately, and 3 Kingborough players around him. Kieran Brown. That's better distribution from the keeper. Went to the chest of Havinen, but couldn't quite keep it in. Kingborough rocking what must be one of the youngest front threes seen in NPL, with Kansos, Hall and Brennan. Down the line in the Downs direction. Balls to Morton. There's not a huge amount of options ahead of him. Turner plays it wide to Farrell, who's appeared on the left wing. Does enough to keep the ball in play, but he absolutely definitely kicked that out despite the protestations there. Well, Dogger Brown just to the left of your screen there.
A little bit of background on Gutierrez now that we know what he looks like, in fact. He's 22 years of age, previously of FC Dallas El Paso. Before that was playing at Mississippi. And he's a box-to-box central midfielder. He's the American born in El Paso. Disappointed he's not born slightly more to the east, but despite that, I do feel CSI Miami is the name we run with for him. Horatio. Would have just lined up perfectly. Were he from Florida? Unfortunately not, but...
A few thousand miles in between, but, you know.
Close enough is good enough as Schuth puts this one across. That's a poor pass straight to Luke Farrell, and Morton looking to punish them immediately. Turner holds up. He knows Gorry will be making that charging run. Wasn't quite advanced enough at that point, but you can see it's you've got your 3 centre-backs in Havainen as, I suppose, a left wing-back, more of a defensive-minded one. And Gorry, again, is a right wing-back, but more of a right attacker than anything.
Yeah, they're not quite going the full Barcelona Jordi Alba, Danny Alves they had there for a while. It's more Gorry playing the Danny Alves, and you've got Havainen as a more traditional left-back. Someone's launched high into the sky. Oscar Thomas, funnily enough, getting the height advantage over his opponent there. Thomas just finds the touchline under pressure from Kansas. Ball back in play. Now out wide to Phil Kansas, who is adjudged to be offside. It did have a slight inkling, even from our position up here in the media box, that he'd strayed a yard or two off there.
Nathan Code down there on the line, it looks like.
Yeah, he is on this evening.
So the archer, Jack Bowman, looks up. And the cork in the ocean lets it run cleverly. Morton is onto it. Nick Morton in on goal. Great chance this. Nick Morton to make it 2, and he's put it over the top. I think he was just caught in 2 minds there. A good piece of defending to get the block on it. I think he was thinking, oh, if he touches me here, I can get the penalty. Do I take the shot? And a great piece of recovery in defence as Morton with the corner, but it could have been more. Good hustle. Was that Kansas getting back? Really impressive there from an attack-minded player to get back and put in a fantastic block. The corner taken to the back post. The giraffe, Oscar Thomas, wins it. Secondary ball, hits the deck. Who's going to pounce? It's a free kick spotted going the way of the Lions. A real scrap there. That could have fallen anywhere.
It really could have fallen anywhere. A couple of bodies hitting the floor as well. But Phil Kansas, that was textbook defending. You wouldn't know he was an attack-minded winger with play like that. Just did enough to put body on Morton, not commit the penalty, then get goal side. And once Morton went on the right peg, he had enough of the angle there. It did Kansas to concede the corner. Done very well there. And then the foul committed will relieve the pressure on Kingborough. Stalker launches that one high in the sky. Won by Farrell. Schuth to Zammit. Zammit along to Hall. Nearly falls to Downs. But on this occasion, a little bit scrappy out there, and it's eventually adjudged a foul. Plenty of action down this near touchline as we look at it on the vision. Chris Downs making the moniker of Jesus this season.
Well, if he keeps scoring goals like that, he will be a real messiah down here at the Den. Hope they can get a full season out of him. 2 half seasons we've seen from Chris Downs the last 2 years at the Lions and at the Zebras. Is just, he went travelling more than injury for one of those seasons, but injury interrupted another one of them. But whenever he's been on the park, he's been absolutely dynamic, Chrissy Downs. He's the best set-piece taker in the league, and we saw that with his first one. He took, really asking questions, and it's a few of those long-range snipes he's had down the years.
Speaking of, we've got Gilly D'Souza down on the deck. Maybe just cop some studs, I think.
Oh, yes.
From Gutierrez, right on the knee.
What a stun.
The 2 imports clashing. Saw D'Souza down for a little bit on Friday night as well, but was fit enough to play out the rest of the match and score that 90th minute goal for South Hobart. Just putting a few possibilities that they could have snatched a draw, but to no avail as he's back to his feet now. Here's Gilly.
Former Kingborough player, played a fair bit at centre-back last year for the Lions. They thrust him in attack when they probably were struggling for attacking options, tried to push him up the field a little bit more because he was so good on the ball, but we've seen him back in that midfield role for South Hobart tonight, so a versatile player is Gilly D'Souza, and looks like he'll be right to continue. Wouldn't expect that to hamper him too much. Ludford to the Giraffe. Gorry immediately closed down by Kansos. He's going to have his hands full tonight. We've already seen his diligence in defence. Here's Ludford. Carrying it forward and then looking to thread the eye of the needle and spring Havainen. Hash of a clearance will fall the way of Lazinski. Lazinski doesn't quite have the pace to burn off a couple, and Cuthbertson takes it out of play for the throw. Lazinski, I thought, would be a better receiver than thrower in this instance.
I think he was just told that in no uncertain terms from Havainen.
And Dogger Brown too. Very active on the touchline, Dogger Brown, in his coaching, I suppose, early doors of his coaching career, as Havainen at the top of the box. Back to Gilly de Souza. He scored from this range the other night. Doesn't hit this one nearly as sweetly. Tugs it wide. But it's going to be brought back for the foul and present perhaps Lazinski with a really good opportunity here.
Yeah, I think there was a definite foul there committed by Gutierrez.
Right under the nose of the referee. Couldn't help his cause.
Yeah, couldn't get any closer to the referee. Albie is lining this one up. Also, Morton and de Souza showing some interest. Probably would favour a right foot power shot this one, or a little dink towards Jack Turner, who is waiting in anticipation at the back stick.
Just be blasting it, trying to get on target, and then having that man, the cork in the ocean, charging into the box for any rebounds. Let's see what they do. Lazinski can't beat the wall. One deflects wide. Cleared only so far as Nick Morton combining with Lazinski. It was a poor ball though. Picked off there by Brennan, and now they try to spring it over the top. Havainen alert to the danger. Morton, Lazinski. Gilly de Souza from range. It's been brought back for a foul. And plenty of these little chippy fouls in midfield at the moment. Real scrap of a game at the moment in the engine room.
Yeah, just a heavy touch off the shin pad for Havainen. And just his trailing leg possibly jarred against Gutierrez. It was interesting on that free kick. Hugh Ludford just hovering behind the wall waiting for any rebounds. Interesting ploy. Obviously, as we've heard during the week, from next season and next year, you won't be able to get that close to the wall as an attacker from a free kick.
Yes, the rule changes that have been causing so much consternation, particularly the penalty change that isn't actually a change, but again, thanks Sky Sports Football for that one. Really diligent, responsible reporting there from them.
Oh, unlike them not to do any of that.
Good to see they actually went to the website of the referees where it was listed, and no, we'll just guess. So yeah, no changes to the penalties if you have heard that, because I must admit I had 2 hours there where I thought that had changed. I saw some very respected reporters running with the morning, and apparently not the case. So a few rule changes in, and they'll all be next season as Kansos dinks this one to the back post. Downs can't quite get there. It's a poor clearance from Havainen, and then a hash of it too from Jakey Brennan. That is 10 of the worst seconds of play you'll see, I reckon.
Yeah, not one for the highlights package there. That's sequence of players. Havainen, we're just going to see it anyway. Shank clearance off the knee, backspin. Jacob Brennan barely hits the pass. Eventually Havainen clears it, and that is the last we'll talk of that. Is now Jack Turner's nearly on goal here. Good body work there. Again from Zammit coming across, just making Turner hold his run and get Stalker enough time to come out and collect. He's got a booming kick on him, does Stalker. Finds the feet of Downs perfectly. Eventually, South Hobart will come across and collect. Downs will concede the throw. And Gorry and Morton not quite on the same wavelength from the throw in there. Kingborough now with a chance to build some pressure on the far side. Do like the boots of Nick Zammit, staring very nice and bright wheels from the far side. Plays a nice ball down the line, but I thought that had deflected off Gorry. He actually just missed hit it.
So it will be Gorry to take the throw in. Gilly de Souza offering short, back to Gorry. Now Turner combining with the Brazilian, and they'll just work it up the line. Still a fair bit of natural light about. The floodlights will take over in the second half as Nick Morton is dispossessed. Good defending at the back. Schuth works it across, and they should be able to clear the area here. They do, working the ball up there to Brennan. Brennan just smashes it over the top. Kieran Brown is alert and well off his line, but just misdirects the blast, and out of play it goes.
Keenan Dowse with the throw, getting the return ball. Now it's Brennan, probably trying to get him on the ball a little more here. The Lions turn over to Morton. Turner stays onside, but a good sliding challenge there from Joel Schuth.
Really liking Jack Turner's work early in this game, just sitting up top, receiving the ball, playing his fellow attackers through, charging down everything. A bundle of energy. He just got wheeled out after being unsighted all pre-season, and he doesn't look like he's missed a step, Jack Turner. He's just that sort of operator. Another former Lion. Plenty of players in there against their respective former clubs here tonight, that's for sure. Here's the big Stork, Cuthbertson, on his tidiest work. Havainen to Turner. Dispossessed nicely. Now Downs will curl it. No one was there though. Jack Bowman. Couldn't find Farrell. Brennan turning inside. And then lost it to the Frenchman. Dominic Easton now. He turns it over to Lazinski from range. It was straight down the throat of Stalker though. And he collects that one fairly comfortably.
Good power on the shot there from Albie Lazinski, as we expect. In a perfect view of it from up here. And I got to say, if that was a Jabulani ball, I reckon that might have swerved in over Stalker's head.
Bring it back.
Keeper's nightmare. That ball at that height as Morton crowded out by Lions. Gutierrez looking down the line and eventually cleared by D'Souza. Zammit bombing on from his left back position. He'll reverse back and take the throw. Gutierrez. Zammit wanting to look long in the Brennan direction. Vinen manages to win the header. Falls to Keenan Dusu. Gets that one comfortably into the stands. Goal kick coming up for South Hobart. And I think after the shock of that initial goal, they've settled into the game quite well here. It's Thomas. Receives it again, and Brown out to Ludford. South Hobart trying to build some width here through Havainen. Down the line to Morton. He's got Lazinski and Turner in the box. 2 lines for company though, Morton. Morton again with the bag of tricks coming out. Gets on the left peg. Low cross, and eventually Joel Schuth will clear that one. I think despite all that, the Lions defenders knew they really wanted him on his left foot there, the Morthog.
Yeah, they've done the scout there, Ludford. Feral TV now. Far too much on that for big Lazinski. He's not chasing after that. Stalker will release the throw and try to spring Cantos down the left. They won't quite be able to work it that direction though, and then just a loose pass will present Gorry the chance to quickly move it on to Lazinski. Lazinski's there to chase his own ball, stoop to win the header too. No foul, play on, the big Stork. Plays it to Brennan, and they'll knock it round the back again. Schuth. Mick Easton worked it out across to Zammit, and he retreats to Stalker. Being pressured from Jack Turner. Joel Schuth knew he had the safety net of his left foot to turn onto, and he wheels onto it now. Swings it over the top. Ludford wants it back into the path of Kansos. Now he's going to have to do some defending here, Huey Ludford. Oh, the experience on display there. Beautiful work from Ludford. The clearance is going to come right back at them, but just wily stuff there from the veteran.
Beautiful stuff there from the Warhorse, Hugh Ludford, showing all of his class and experience. It'll be Downs and Zammit exchanging passes. Zammit just couldn't quite keep it in on the far side. Thought D'Souza was going to steal a few yards there. Elects it to go back to Gorry. Jack Turner trying to flick it forward. Must be getting inspiration from that Derby County goal overnight with that flick. Not quite the same execution. Stalker uses all 7 seconds. He's telling his teammates to go long, and that's the reason why. A booming kick into the sky falls to the chest of Brennan. Knocks it down to Gutierrez. Crunching challenge there from the Archer.
Full-blooded stuff there from Jack Bowman, that's for sure. Keenan Dowse throwing into the middle. Picked up by Dominic Easton. Back to Schuth. Now Kansos. Brennan. They've coughed it up here. Oscar Thomas clearing it away. Stalker will sweep across and get there first. Plays it to Schuth. Experience, geez, that was a poor pass from Schuth. Under no real pressure, just punches it straight out of play, and still a little bit of rust in a few of these players early in the season. Turner turning into space. He might lash it with the left here, Jack Turner. Instead off to Lazinski, and it was a half-hearted effort. A little bit of power, and he might have had the keeper in trouble, but just leant back and didn't get nearly enough of it.
Yeah, I think played just a bit too slightly behind him there, Lazinski, and was sort of couldn't quite get enough power on it. I thought Jack Turner was primed for a left foot shot there just before. As Stalker launches that one in the Kansos direction, wins the header to Downs. Downs out to Hall. It's Hall v Thomas. He likes to go to Kansos and just misses him by an inch. Out to Zammit. Zammit looking near post, but Ludford clears. Lazinski versus Cuthbertson. Cuthbertson wins that one. Farrell. That'll be Lazinski. Adam Gorry's in an absolute acre on the far side, and that's where he looked. Turner and Morton to pick out here. Gorry deflected cross, and again it peters out. Good clearance and covering there from Easton. Now Lazinski comes short to collect. Bit of a lazy touch there, but does well to keep it in. Does the target man. Gorry hits it right into Zammit, who turns it over. Lazinski still on side here. Crosses it in near post. Turner, I think, was judged as offside. No, they're going to give it as a throw in. Assistant referee had his flag up quite early.
Really causing havoc through the first 30 minutes. Jack Turner here. See why he's so important to this South Hobart team. 2017, the perfect example of that. Doing midway through the year and scored pretty much every game as they sauntered the title. Chance here for Loic Farrell! Oh, the Frenchman couldn't direct his header. He timed the run nicely, but Feral TV couldn't quite, not at home. And slightly switched off at the back here, Kingborough. Adam Gorry putting in a fantastic ball on his left peg.
Yeah, it was Downs who was trying to track the run. Farrell ghosted in towards the back post. And probably just needed to make his run slightly deeper so he could run directly onto that header. We don't see him in such an attacking position that often, do Feral TV, and there he is doing his usual work in holding midfield. And ball surely there from Brennan. Played quickly to Morton. Lazinski. Farrell again. Gorry is in an acre of space, but it's played just behind him, so he'll retreat. Now look to play in Turner down the line. Zammit should have this one covered. De Souza doing well. Oh, it's a poor pass to Souza, and just making up for it.
Penalty.
Is Cuthbertson or not enough?
Penalty. Stratos just straight in. I don't think there's too many protestations. We'll have a look at the replay. It was Dominic Easton with a really poor pass straight to the Warthog, and then that's a pretty blatant spot kick. Just takes him from behind, clips the legs. No hesitation whatsoever. It looks like it's going to be Gilly De Souza against his former team, and Richie Stalker getting the ball for him. I mean, we saw last year Nico Giatsopoulos take it to the opposite extreme and just blast it 80 yards away, and now De Souza says, actually, Adam Gorry, you can have it. So the regular man on penalty duties until point of last year was pretty perfect from the spot, and he steps up and he's denied. So I tell you what, for a man who couldn't miss spot kicks early on in his career, he's missed a high percentage of them lately, and that's a great save from Stalker.
Getting across to his right. Well, Mitch Stalker, he's got a good frame for a keeper in penalty situations, can get across really quickly, and did just then. It was a pretty tamely hit penalty from Gorry as well. He was just a bit lackadaisical in the run-up. We've seen what that's like lately. Keepers are learning to really wait on it as we have another look at that penalty. Gorry not quite in the corner. And a good height for the keeper as well, as we see Morton nearly getting in on it. It'll be Schuth. Crowded there by Havainen, who tries the back heel. Eventually cleared only as far as Turner. Turner looking towards the back post. Now it's Gorry. There's Gilly De Souza in a good pocket of space. Falls to Lazinski. Flick on header. Morton's there. Thought he was going to try the spectacular. Falls to Havainen. Scoops that one high in the air. A ping A pinball going on around here. And Gorry near post, Stalker punches. Still not out of their 18-yard box yet for the Lions. Havainen, oh, then the touch will just give enough time for Downs to clear. Finally, Lions defence can push up under all sorts of pressure here the last couple of minutes.
Might have to get Benny Smith on the task. I'm sure he'll have it, but I'd love to know Gorry's penalty percentage numbers from probably till mid-2018 and then since then. It's, I think he had something like 8 or 10 in a row or something. He's really couldn't miss seemingly, but has lost that magic touch and denied again here by Stalker. And frustrating for South because they've had a pretty good little response to going 1-0 behind and probably would be good value to take the lead. They've really put this Kingborough defence under a bit of pressure at the back, or as we saw there with that Eastern pass. They've been their worst enemy at times.
Yeah, possibly trying to give South Hobart one back for the Kieran Brown's pass before for Kingborough's goal. That's the only thing I can think of with Eastern's pass. It was right across the D with Morton lurking. There's Gorry, Turner, back to Gorry, Gorry to Morton, now Lazinski, Havainen, D'Souza, couldn't quite wrap his leg around the pass there, Loic Farrell.
Brace yourself, viewers. Well, I've pressed a button and a sub's happened. I'm not sure that's what Ash was getting at when he said hit the green button, but I've hit the button and a substitution is being made here by the Lions. Surely not Chrissy Downs. That couldn't happen. No, it's to be number 15 there, one of the youngsters.
James
Hall coming off. So Greg Calvert, very proactive and has decided he's going to make a switch. I still have no idea what this green button's done, Ash. So...
As we'll see Jacob Brennan then, not Brennan, James Hall not terribly pleased about being taken off. Surely a foul by Gorry on Samet. Samet putting a nice performance in as well to try and get a slice of cheddar out of Stratos' pocket. It'll take a bit more than that to lure our reigning referee of the year to give out such a cheese.
Never nice to be subbed in the first half, but I always admire a manager who is willing to make an early substitution. It's bold, it's risky from Greg Calvert, but he's seen things not going the way he likes and he's reacted and made the change. So I like it. I think too often we see managers sitting on their heels, waiting to that hour mark, sitting back going, we'll give him 15 minutes in the second half. I prefer the more proactive form. So a bit of smoke just creeping into the box here. The fire's roaring down here at the den on the hill as per usual there. See there.
Haven't quite got the great cider banner they had there last year.
The marquee set up though, where they probably kept a few away tonight, you'd imagine. It was really, I think it was going to be quite a miserable old evening here for most of the afternoon and evening. It's been quite awful weather down here in Hobart, but it's really turned out quite nice and good conditions, I think, for the players in the end. They'll enjoy this.
Yeah, certainly a lot better than it would have been had there been any games on Saturday.
That's for sure. We did take the temperature of the KG5 pitch at 1 o'clock on Saturday when the second half of game 1 would have been kicking off. Have a guess at the number, Paul.
Well, plus it was 39 at my place, so I'm going to say it'd be a good 42 at KGV.
Yeah, that might have been the air temperature, surface temperature of 50 degrees. So, fair to say the right call was made in calling that one off, as disappointing as it was.
Yeah, I did not leave the house from 12 till 6 on Saturday, and I was quite thankful for that, as well as Morton is adjudged offside once he's finally got possession of the ball.
Yeah, it was much the same. I had a chat with one of our good friends, Chrissy Rowbottom at ABC, just talking about what was meant to be a preview of the day. It wasn't quite that, just more of a general season preview. And inside with the air conditioning, very much the plan. But yeah, it would have been absolutely awful at KG5 on Saturday. So a tough one, but I think the right call made. And probably, I think, for a number of the clubs, it worked out all right. Devonport, Riverside get their first games of the season at home. So too Kingborough there. Launceston City have a new coach who gets an extra week and a half to work with his team. So I think for the clubs competing, possibly not the worst result for them too. Loic Farrell stretches for this one. Back to Bowman. Punches it in the Schuth direction. His header falls to Morton. Gets clattered into from behind. Brennan Clever little heel that one, but Gilly DeSalza wins it back and he turns inside, looks to spread the play to the Adam Gorry wing. Leaves it behind though, Gorry. So he's harassed there by Kansos. Kansos, he's got a knack for scoring headers, doesn't work in the air there. Very good in the air, Phil Kansos.
As he's now seems to be moving up top, Kansos from his wing position as Turner and Gorry play to each other on the far side. Gorry gets in a pocket of space. Inside to Lazinski, and Gilly D'Souza hits it again. Did the keeper get a glove on it? He did not, so a goal kick again. But another promising half chance for South Hobart as we wind down this first half. And it seems to be all the shots on goal are coming from Gilly D'Souza. And he's in at least 3 or 4 from outside the box in this half. Clearly spurred on by his goal on Friday night. As Stalker takes the goal kick in that direction. Farrell launches highest. Kingborough now trying to play it forwards. Downs with the wall pass. Good running here through the middle. As Gutierrez showing a good turn of pace. And offside given against South Hobart. It's Easton, Cuthbertson and Schuth. Schuth in a good pocket of space here. Downs is the furthest forward here for the Lions, but it's just hit over his head and Kieran Brown will come out to collect. Just trying to see what Coach Greg Calvert's done to his Kingborough Lions lineup. He's clearly made some tactical adjustments. And there's Bowman searches for Lazinski. Now Havainen. Farrell, but nipping at his heels there was Kansos, who's playing more centrally for the time being. It's the Archer. Down the line to Havainen, back to Morton. Joel Schuth coming across as he tends to do to clear that one. Now Brennan. Ludford for company. Got a little bit of skill from Gutierrez and manages to win the free kick.
So, won't be Downs over this one. They'll give it back to the American. Gutierrez retreats to the big stalk. Punches it in there to the Kansos direction. Gutierrez. Again, happy to recycle it out the back there to Cuthbertson, who will think about changing up the point of attack, then goes centrally to Kansos. That was clever. Through ball good, but Havainen was alert to the threat of Keenan Dowse. Flicked on by DeSalza. Morton doesn't win, but it falls back to the Brazilian, who butted up nicely, and he's charging off into the box here. He might cut it back for Lazinski. He does so. On the left, he smashes it looking for Gorry, but repelled away there by Downs. And now Morton wins it cleanly. Adam Gorry's in acres of space, and he just lifted his head before he gathered the ball. And an opportunity missed there for Adam Gorry. Back to the Giraffe. Now some room for Oscar Thomas. Driving one to Morton, whose header wide of the mark. The flag had been raised anyway. But South Hobart are knocking on the door, and the longer this game has gone on, the better they've looked.
Yeah, I think that little bit of extra match sharpness coming into the fore here the last 5-10 minutes of this first half. Morton ghosting into space, much like Farrell did a few minutes earlier, but couldn't quite get enough purchase on the header. I think Kingborough, whilst they've certainly been in this game, they haven't been thoroughly outplayed or anything, but I think they'll be wanting the half-time whistle to come pretty shortly. As Dowse takes the throw into Gutierrez. Back to Dowse. Out wide now to the goal scorer Downs. He had Deuce on the overlap. Oscar Thomas winning the header. Now Zammit. Zammit, good turn there from Brennan, and I think that's a shot on goal in the end from Davis. Eventually thrown out from Brown to Jack Turner. And I think that was a falcon there on Nick Zammit. He's gone down pretty hard there as the Lions player.
Yeah, floored him there. It's been a pretty good first half from Nick Zammit. I think I've confused him with Phil Kansos a couple of times. Really associate Kansos in my mind with the flashy boots, and Zammit rocking him tonight. And always a tough one, Lighwood Park, calling it from this angle when we're directly behind the goals. And
I don't think any amount of excuse is going to make up for that Downs miscue.
I'm the other one who called it live. I just followed your lead, Paul. I'm throwing you under the bus for that one, mate.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, a few kinks to iron out here in our commentary as well as the rest of the players, I think, as we have a look at that Falcon, and he has really copped that one. Yikes. No wonder he's ended up on the deck. It's quite a nasty blow he's copped there. So the play will stop, and it'll stop more permanently in around about a minute's time. Can't have thought there'd be too much stoppage time. This is probably the biggest stoppage we've had.
Yeah, between this and Sousa being looked at, there'd be no more than about a minute, I would say. It's eventually getting to his feet is Zammit. Any new distinctive boots, any new hairstyles really need to be made. Media available from pre-season, I think. It's the real kind of pre-season interview we need.
We'll need to address that for next year as Oscar Thomas sends it wide to Adam Gorry, who once again has an absolute paddock, and he drives it in there, looking for Jack Turner. Repelled to Havainen. De Souza. Back to Bowman. He swings this one over the top, looking for that driving run of Gorry, but he put too much on it. He's never going to be able to track that one down, and that might just about be all she wrote for the first 45 here at Lighwood Park. It's been a very entertaining start to this match. Kingborough taking the lead very early on in the piece through Chris Downs, an error at the back from South Hobart, coughing the ball up far too cheaply. Brown scrambling miles off his line in the end as Chris Downs swung one in from 40 yards, but South Hobart from that moment, they responded, got back on terms moments later, and really since then they've dominated the game and looked good value for a second. Unable to find one just yet. Can they sneak it in before the half? It's Adam Gorry running at this Lions defence and crossing it in. Easily repelled. Luke Farrell pounces on it. His pass was overhit for De Souza, and maybe one last chance for the Lions to break. Look at the watch from Plomaridis. Lay on for now. Ludford across to the Archer. Now the Morthog. Outside of the boot was clever. Worked it to Lezinski. Lezinski also going with the outside of the boot. Couldn't combine with Turner though. That kills that attack. Eating up all the seconds he can. Here's Stalker here. And as soon as he kicks it, that will be half time, I'd have thought. And there it is, the first half brought to a conclusion. It's been breathless stuff at times. There's been a fair bit of rust out there on display. Both the goals from pretty, one of the goals and almost a goal at the other end from some just awful turnovers in dangerous areas. But good play intertwined with that, and South Hobart, I think, would probably be the happier of the two teams heading into the sheds, given the start to the game.
Yeah, I think they'll be pretty content with that after going down inside 5 minutes. They have really looked the strongest throughout this first half. I think they had a bit of extra match sharpness coming in, particularly that last 10 minutes. But Kingborough did more than enough to hold on to their 1-1 scoreline at half-time. Good team talk. They've already made a sub, so Greg Calvert not afraid to ring the changes. We'll see if he brings any more at half-time. I can't imagine any coming from Ken Morton. I think they'll just be more of the same, and just to keep plugging away, I think will be the message from South. But an even contest here, shaping up to be a gripping second half.
Yeah, certainly Kingborough hanging in there at the back. They were under siege for the last half hour or so, but did a pretty good job. And they'll be hopeful they can keep defending as stoutly. And they've shown they've got bite in attack when they can break forwards. And when you've got Chris Downs in your team, you've always got the threat of a goal from distance. So we'll be back in around about 10 minutes' time here at the Den with what should be an intriguing second half. Gutierrez here as he whips in a dangerous-looking ball to the middle of the box and at the back post. Joel Schuth was unmarked, sliding in.
Bowman to come out. Oh, that's a misplaced clearance from Kieran Brown. Gutierrez! Oh, he's put it in from 40 out, the new player. Horatio Gutierrez. What a finish.
What a finish indeed, and what a start to this game. Lazinski couldn't control it, but Adam Gary's free on the right here. It's Gorry now. Turner making a great run through the middle. Might fall for Morton! Immediate response from South Hobart. The Morthogs strokes home from close range. And that's just the response South Hobart were looking for.
Getting an immediate response. Amount of options ahead of him. Turner plays it wide to Farrell, who's appeared on the left wing. Does enough to keep the ball in play, but he absolutely definitely kicked that out despite the back in play. Now out wide to Phil Council, who is judged to be offside. It didn't have a slight inkling.
Looks up. And the cork in the ocean lets it run cleverly. Morton is onto it. Nick Morton in on goal. Great chance this. Nick Morton to make it two, and he's put it over the top. Downs the last 2 years at the Lions and at the Zebras is just, he went travelling more than injury for one of those seasons, but injury interrupted another one of them. But whenever he's been on the park, he's been absolutely dynamic, Chrissy. The doors of his coaching career is Havana at the top of the box. Back to Gilly de Souza. He scored from this range the other night. Doesn't hit this one nearly as sweetly, tugs it wide. And having that man, the cork in the ocean, charging into the box for any rebounds. Let's see what they do. Lazinski can't beat the wall. One deflects wide there by Brennan, and now they try to spring it over the top. Havainen alert to the danger. Morton, Lazinski, Gilly de Souza from range. It's been brought back for a foul. And plenty of these little chippy fouls.
It's the pass. Eventually Havainen clears it, and that is the last we'll talk of that. Is now Jack Turner's nearly on goal here. Good body work there. Again from Zammit coming across.
Dominic Easton now. He turns it over to Lazinski from range. It was straight down the throat of Stalker though. And he collects that one fairly comfortably.
Good. Goes back and take the throw. Gutierrez. Zammit wanting to look long in the Brennan direction. Linen manages to win the header. Falls to Keenan Dusu. It's that one comfortably into the stand.
2017, the perfect example of that. Doing midway through the year and scored pretty much every game as they saunter the title. Chance here for Loic Farrell. Oh, the Frenchman couldn't direct his header. He timed the run nicely.
De Souza doing well. Oh, it's a poor pass to Souza and just making up for it.
Penalty.
Is Cuthbertson or not?
Adam Gorry, you can have it. So the regular man on penalty duties until point last year was pretty perfect from the spot, and he steps up and he's denied. So I tell you what, for a man who couldn't miss spot kicks early on in his career.
A pinball going on around here. And Gorry near post. Stalker punches. Still not out of their 18-yard box. Outside, Gorry gets in a pocket of space. Inside to Lazinski, and Gilly de Souza hits it again. Did the keeper get a glove on it? He did not, so goal kick.
Miss there for Adam Gorry. Back to the Giraffe. Now some room for Oscar Thomas. Driving one to Morton, whose header wide of the mark. The flag had been raised anyway.
Zammit. Zammit, good turn there from Brennan, and I think that's a shot on goal in the end from Davis. Eventually thrown out from Brown to Jack Turner. And I think that was a Falcon there on Nick Zammit. He's gone down pretty hard there.
And we're back for the second half down here at Lighwood Park. 1 apiece after 45 minutes. Kingborough opening the scoring early on, just 6 minutes rather into the piece, when Chris Downs directed one home from about 30 to 40 yards out, but an immediate response from South Hobart when it fell to Nick Morton in the box. As we have a look at the league table, just the one game played so far, and South Hobart with the one loss, Olympia the one win. Both teams keen for points here in their season opener. We might just take a look at the team list. We didn't get a chance to run through pre-game. It was a bit of a rush here. Everyone in Hobart really turns into an old nana driving on the roads when it rains. But the Kingborough Lions line up there: Brennan, Cuthbertson, Downs, Easton, Gutierrez, Hall, who's since been substituted. And you've got Kansos, Schuth, Stalker, Zammit. And it looks like we might be seeing some more sub-action here on the sidelines. And
Berezinski.
South Hobart are going to bring in a very young player, Samuel Berezinski, indeed. So, not sure who's made what. It looks like Toby Havanen has got the tracksuit top on and is hobbling around pretty gingerly with some ice. So, not the return to the den he was after, but it looks like Berezinski for Havanen has been the half-time substitution from South Hobart. There's the rest of their lineup with Bowman and Ludford, Thomas, the centre halves. You've got, well, we had Havanen as the left wing back. We'll see if Berezinski takes up that position. Gorry, of course, on the right. Luke Farrell, the Sousa in midfield with Morton, Turner, Lezinski leading the attack there. So we'll wait and see if Berezinski heads out to the left. It looks like he will, so I'd imagine no formation tweak from Ken Morton. I don't think he's got too many reasons to tweak that. Did seem like just a matter of time till they found that second goal and had the chance from the penalty spot. Unable to convert. Adam Gorry denied by Stalker. But I think if the game keeps going the way it is, it's hard to see South not winning it. But Kingborough have hung in there pretty well. It's been, apart from the one or two blips, a pretty good defensive performance from them.
Yeah, been relatively solid. Just that one slip-up, which caused the penalty, is really their only major incident, negative incident of the first half for the Lions. And they've tried to play the ball down the wings predominantly. Haven't seen them play centrally a lot when attacking, really looking to use the pace of Kansos and as well down on the other side. Easton trying to spray the passes out. Jacob Brennan has looked lively when he's had his chance on the ball. He's probably not going to win too many physical and all height matchups against Oscar Thomas and Hugh Ludford, but if they keep playing some through balls to him, they'll have a good chance. And so we see Stalker, it was at a comfortable height, the penalty from Gorry, but it was a good solid save from the keeper, and to make a nice penalty stop in game one of the season, it's a nice confidence booster for any keeper as Stratos blows the whistle and we are away for the second half. It's Morton, immediately pressured by Kansos. Bowman, Ludford and Adam Gorry trying to get in as much space as possible. He's really hugging the touchline tonight at Lighwood Park. It's now Bowman. And he's got Berezinski in front of him, and that's where he goes. The substitute seems to have taken the exact same spot as Havainen had. Jack Turner calling for it. Thomas back to Kieran Brown. First touch of the half for South Hobart's favourite ranger, Adam Gorry. High towards Morton. Morton will stretch to keep it in, but good covering defence in the end there from Joe Davis. Gorry's going to stride forward to take the throw in. Seems to have come on Davis and really playing a holding midfield role, and he's stuck right to Nick Morton for the moment. It's Turner battling away with Kansos. Sousa. Thomas. Chance to clear there from Easton. Easton as far as Douse. There's going to be a few appeals for this throw-in, but it should be a Kingborough throw-in is.
So it'll be taken by Douse. Walked back to him there and then just chips it up onto the head of Downs, who volleys one straight up in the air. Oscar Thomas giving chase. There's long levers leading the way. Kieran Brown comfortably collect and then looks to spring them quickly here. Sends it out to Jack Bowman. The Archer is on target there as he works it to Berezinski. His first involvement in season 2019. Wasn't in the squad for the game against the Warriors, but comes straight into the team here. First substitution of the evening, replacing an injured Tobias Havainen. There's Thomas with a nil-directed pass, which will be easily gathered there by Stalker. And we'll look up with plenty of time to assess the field. The natural light replaced by the artificial now as the second half resumes. Great to be bringing you midweek NPL Tasmania football here for the first time. And Stalker absolutely blasts this one the length of the pitch. Luke Farrell, Berezinski, Ludford. Back out to Bowman. Bowman driving down the line. That one's blocked off by his former teammate. Long throw. Unable to win it was Lazinski. Turner comes crashing through. Does well to win the ball back. So much grunt work in attack, Jack Turner. Now it's Bowman looking to turn it on down the wing. Couldn't do so. Kingborough, a chance to repel. Joel Schuth might try to release Zammit wide on the left, but he's closed down nicely by the Warthog, who's buzzing about here. He's done very well, and he's won the throw. Oh, he hasn't won the throw. I thought he played that straight into the feet of Schuth, but referee disagreeing with me.
Yeah, I agreed with you there, Cooley, initially. It was good defensive work there from Morton. Schuth had about 3 goes at trying to clear it and didn't manage it at all as Kansos wins the header. Farrell comes across to claim. Gutierrez drops the shoulder. Keeps his foot on it. Oscar Thomas leaving the shoulder in on Kansos. Ludford looking to switch the play here. Here's Kieran Brown. Looks it back to Ludford. Adam Gorry hugging the touchline so much he was just out of play then. Turner trying to turn around Schuth and does. Good covering defence there from Gutierrez. Kansos. Gutierrez beaten out by Gorry. Adam Gorry charging in the middle of the box. Morton now getting on the left peg. Looks to the back post. Berezinski. Good save there from Mitch Stalker. Got down low well, did the keeper. But Berezinski with the first real chance of this second half. And just didn't quite get enough power on it there, did the substitute. Stalker now clears that one right to the feet of Kansos. Davis. As far as Gutierrez. Gutierrez out wide. Good pace here down the right-hand side. It's Keenan Dowse. Good covering defence again from Berezinski. Those two battling at one end of the field 20 seconds ago, and now right up the other end. As we'll see Kingborough's first corner of the half. And the Jesus-like hairstyle of Chris Downs will trot across to take this one. Not one of the best dead ball specialists in the state is Downs. He goes towards the back post. Rising high as Cuthbertson couldn't quite get there. Mad scramble and eventually cleared. South Hobart just doing enough to keep it at 1-1.
Right off the line there, pinballing around. Dangerous moment and brought about again by the Chris Downs set-piece delivery. Asking questions as Gutierrez jumps into the attack. Combining with Keenan Dowse. He's surrounded immediately, though, by 3 South Hobart players. Knocks it back to Brennan. Back to Dowse, and he's forced to retreat all the way back there. And Davis looks it to the top of the box. A wild swing, but that one was blocked away. Gilly to Sousa. They're open at the back here. Kingborough, but stretching across to get there nicely was Dominic Easton, the youngster. The blue in the first half, but he's done well there, and he spread the play nicely. Bowman can't get there. And neither in the end could the Kingborough attacker, Chrissy Downs. Just couldn't quite reach it. Kieran Brown now. Down the line in the Morton direction. Chests it down and turns inside. And then sends it through for Jack Turner, who's offside. The cork in the ocean was steaming through, but he just strayed.
Centimetres in it there from Jack Bowman. He was desperately trying to keep that right shoulder in line with the last defender, but still may have just gone a tad early. Stalker pushing his teammates away so he can take the free kick. Out to Cuthbertson. Good touch there from Downs. Not quite kept in by Dowse. As you say, it has really darkened very quickly here since the first half. Kingborough's lights installed last year, been a very welcome addition. It was very good coming down to the Den on a few Saturday nights last season. I hope there's a few more to come, especially midweek. Always good for some football midweek.
Yeah, I think it's an untapped market, and obviously experimenting with it this year, and I think something I'd like to see more of. Hopefully the fans are enjoying it. Great to be able to watch the NPL Tasmania here tonight as Adam Gorry works it to Gilly de Souza. Back to Gorry, who's charged down there. Kingborough, a bit of energy about them here early in the second half. Really looking to pressure the South Hobart ball carriers a little bit more than perhaps they did late in the first half. They were back on their heels a tad. South Hobart wearing them down. Lazinski goes for the flick on Davis. A good piece of defensive work though. Gutierrez, his tackle turned into a pretty good pass for Phil Kansos, who jumps over the outstretched leg of Thomas. And in the end, it took a little deflection, so they'll let that run out for the throw in. Steal a few yards will Nick Zammit. He might receive this one back, he does. Been good so far tonight, Zammit. Impressed with him, and he's got a chance to put a ball in here, but charged down by Hugh Ludford. Across to put it behind.
Solid defence there, and great boat heading there by goalkeeping coach Mark Moncourt throughout that last 15 seconds. Mesmerising stuff there from the monkey.
As an entertainer, and this will give Chris Downs another chance to swing one in. He really caused some problems with the last corner. What can he do on this occasion? Downs sends it to the back post. We nodded back down, but South will deal with this, and anywhere but here will do, says Bowman, and just blasted on out of that. Kingborough will retreat back to Stalker. Stalker's pass. Davis there, or Gutierrez rather, was robbed of it. Berezinski's had a couple of good positive involvements early on, and he's got a chance here as he's played in. He cuts it back, and it was blocked nicely in the end, but liking what I'm seeing from Sam Berezinski, the youngster. Real prospect in the South Hobart playing list. One to keep an eye on for the future, for sure, as this one swung. I don't know if Gorry will quite track it down. It will. It's sat perfectly. Gorry puts too much on the cross. Really looked to hammer it in there. Did his teammates no favours in the end. What a weighted pass it was to pick him out.
Beautifully weighted pass there from Gorry, and just when you think he's not going to quite keep that in, he's got pace to burn.
Sure.
South Hobart's favourite ranger. He had Nick Morton at the near post, absolutely screaming for it. Gave him a bit of a clip round the ear afterwards as well, did the Morthog. As now Kingborough have it in their own attacking half. Jinking inside now to Downs. It's Downs out wide. Keenan Dowse has got the wrong side of Berezinski, but can't quite do enough with it. Falls to Gutierrez. Back to Downs, who'll look to hit it from this direction. Chris Downs, oh, he's not far away. That all is Chrissy Downs. He's already scored one absolute worldie this evening. Just wanted to make it two.
Yeah, Downstown here. He's going bang again from distance. He is not hesitating to pull the trigger. Launching that, just to keep us scrambling. But he's got a reputation for it. Probably one of the better distance shooters going around, and South need to be charging him down and just watching the gap control a bit as Gorry's marauded in behind again. Great chance for Adam Gorry. Holds off the attentions of Zammit, who did just enough to body him. Stalker comes across now. Morton up against Schuth. Clever back heel from Morton. Then Zammit just opts to foul. Doesn't bring him down though. Advantage paid. Morton will swing the cross in, but can only pick out the keeper. A dangerous moment again from South Hobart. They're knocking on the door as this one's launched long, and Brown will gather.
Nick Morton, they refused to go down. He probably had 3 fouls committed against him. There did the Morthog as that one's fallen to Lazinski. Chests it down. Well, beards it down as fires away, but that's curled just over. Stalker. And the eyes on that one the whole way. There's end-to-end stuff here at Lighwood Park as we tick into the 57th minute mark. Both sides having good attacking opportunities in succession. Adam Gorry's really just finding that gap in behind Zammit and Schuth down the right, South Hobart's right-hand side as that goal kick's taken as far as Farrell. Morton got a willing runner on the other side. Goes to crossfield ball to Gorry again. Gorry first time. Schuth manages to get in front of Turner. He's in some space here, Phil Kansos, if he wants to turn away. Gutierrez offering. Well, the 1-2. He's got pace to burn. Kansos. Kieran Brown's come off his line. Kansos tries to chip him. Centers it inside, but misses his teammate. Now the shot, and Kieran Brown manages to save. It was Keenan Dowse eventually with the shot. No, just couldn't quite pick out his teammate, Kansos. Wouldn't have also blamed him with going the chip. And now DeSalza tries to play in Lazinski. It's thrill a minute stuff here at Lighwood Park. I can't talk quickly enough, and you can't type quickly enough, Andrew Cooling.
Yeah, it is all happening here at Lighwood Park, that's for sure. It's frenetic stuff.
Stalker now elects to pick that one up and rolls it out in the shoot direction, just leaving the body in on Gorry. And Adam Gorry's unintentionally made a great pass towards Zammit. Inside is Jacob Brennan, just getting in front is Bowman. Trying to stretch to keep it in is the Warhorse Hugh Ludford. And doesn't quite do it, so corner kick for the Lions. Downs will no doubt trot across to take this one. As we have a look. And Zammit's cross, first time just out of reach of Brennan. Also had Downs lurking at the back post.
We're seeing the wind factor coming to play a little bit too here. This has been the dominant end of most of the play. It's taking place at the far end of the ground so far this evening as Downs again opting to go deep. He might have just hit too much on this one though. Downs, he's looking to pick out the man peeling off at the back post and then nods it back in the middle. Seems to be the rehearsed routine. There's the Plovers attack here at Lighwood Park.
Now, Amy Park's got the Seagulls. Lightwood's clearly got the Plovers coming up for the rest of this season.
They'll build from the back here. Bowman to Ludford. Now the Giraffe, Oscar Thomas. Slides it across to Adam Gorry. Wants to play it into the channel, and Jack Turner is an ever-willing runner. Looked like a handball to me, and indeed that is the kill from Stratos. Just bringing it down with the arm there was Turner.
As we have a look at that on replay, I think we saw that from up here, and it's a lot more elbow than chest in that one there from Jack Turner.
When Jack Turner's not arguing the decision, you know it's probably a right one. Stalker across the field. Berezinski with the defensive header. Lazinski coming across. Bowman breaks it up back to Berezinski with a sharp touch inside. Tidy on the ball so far, Berezinski. He's Ludford. Swings it across to Gorry, who's making his own half, which is a rare sight when his team has been in possession tonight.
It's the first time I think I've ever seen him drop back to a nominal right back position to pick the ball. He's always looking to bomb on the opposing right back, as that one's down the line towards Berezinski. Well cleared by Davis. We'll manage to get a nick off the young South Hobart winger's head as well. Be Keenan Dowse, all the former South Hobart players, to take the throw. Likes to go short, receives it again, Davis. Now Gutierrez, lovely turn there from Horatio Jr. Finds Brennan. Dowse. Davis under significant pressure from three South Hobart players. A lovely bit of skill, but turned over. Eventually, it's a foot race. Can Easton get across it? He does well to get the ball off to Snell's thigh for a goal kick.
Yeah, just coming back off the Brazilian there. Stalker wants to take it quickly, but he's not happy that Zaman hadn't quite pushed out far enough for his liking. So we'll instead take his time as we pass the hour mark here at Lighwood Park. Still locked at 1-1, and anybody's game this one. It's well and truly out for grabs. South shading the first half really, but Kingborough giving plenty in the second stanza, and really since Calvert's substitution they've looked better. So the structural tweak he's made seems to have paid dividends so far. Obviously a bold move, the tactic of substitution after half an hour, but so far so good. Here's Jack Bowman. He looks up. Morton bursting through the middle. Instead goes for Berezinski. Back to Bowman. Now it's Ludford. He'll play the direct ball again for Gorry, who's made that familiar run down the right. Kansos plays it off for Gorry. Sorry, Zammit. His boots are really stitching me this evening.
Yeah, I will agree. Kansos, I believe, did have the exact same boots last season. I was just taking that opportunity to see what formation tweak Calvert had made. I think they've gone to a pretty flat 5-4-1 by the looks of it. It's at least how they were lining up when South Hobart were playing it around the back. There's now Cansos striding through the middle. Keenan Dowse. Time to put the cross in. Elects to play the 1-2 with Cansos. Tries to get to around the blind side of Berezinski. Keeps it in. No, he doesn't. The AR's flag has been raised. Looking to take it quickly. Out to Gorry. Gorry's got Lazinski offering in the middle of the park if he wants it. Wasn't happening with any of those options. And Loic Farrell, oh, he's almost put it in his own goal. Kieran Brown just getting across there. Hoping he hadn't seen too much of Trippier and Larice from the weekend. There's Morton playing it well with his midfield compatriots Farrell, and Turner had made an inside run. Gorry gone to the outside. He'll keep it in. Goes to the byline. Adam Gorry hits the back post. Berezinski's there, tries to control it, calls for handball, deflected, saved, deflected again. Oh, and finally Jack Turner puts it in. The cork in the ocean bobs up in the 6-yard box after a mad scramble to put South 2-1 up.
Third time's the charm. Once off the line, twice off the line. Stalker despairing in the Kingborough goal, but it won't stay out. South Hobart get their goal. Jack Turner, as he so often does, he's got a phenomenal scoring record, this man. And once again, he's done his best work in the 6-yard box and scrambled this one home. It was an ugly scrap of a goal. Berezinski showed good composure here. In the end, just wrong footing the keeper, who leaves it on the doorstep. Turner with the first time hit, and that is just stiff. Deflects straight back into him. That bounced 3 times and landed perfectly for Jack Turner. A stroke of fortune there for Jack.
Yeah, he wasn't quite sure how to celebrate that one in the end. Well, it's Jack Turner. He's one of his many returns to the Den since he last played here a few years ago. Scores against his old side. Terribly unlucky there from Stalker and Schuth. They pretty much had all angles covered and then had the triple deflection off each other. Just fell right into the arms of Jack Turner. Now it's South. It'll be interesting to see if they push on for a third or if they're happy with the 1-goal advantage down the line from Gorry. Heavy touch from Schuth. Smart work there from the experienced defender, just knocking it out of the way of Lazinski. Stratos. Don't think he really wants to give a slice of cheese for that one, but gives him a talking to. Maybe just a warning that he noticed it and don't do it again. It's Gorry. The urgency to take the throws quite as big as it was a couple of minutes ago. Lazinski trying to turn his defender, and that's a delicious ball to the back post, but slightly overhit, and it'll roll out for a throw-in. Great pace and whip on it. We'll see what the Lions can do. South traditionally run games out just that little bit stronger than other teams in the NPLs we've seen over the last few years, but Kingborough had their fair share of late goals down here at the Den as well. They've made a real habit of it in the last couple of years. 93rd minute free kick from on the last season or the season before comes to mind, as that one's turned over to D'Souza. Aims full. Albie Lazinski just does enough to keep it in. Put a bit more air underneath that one, but also put it out of play. Stalker. Take the goal kick.
South Hobart claimed both the games down here at Lightwood last year, 3-1 and 3-2, a couple of competitive games, and Kingborough, of course, eking out that 2-2 draw at Darcy Street back in the respective fixture in round 2 last year. The circumstances heading into this one very similar, but at the moment it's South in the ascendancy. They just couldn't take their chances 12 months ago, and so far today they've put 2 away, though certainly an element of fortune out that last one, just bombing up perfectly for Turner. But as ever, here he is again. He was in the right spot at the right time. He's just got that knack. Absolutely freakish, Jack Turner. But, one of the more effective players in the league, that's for sure, as Downs spreads it wide. Back to Chris Downs. You get some combination play going out there, but it'll only result in a throw-in.
Well, we're looking to start the season a little stronger than they did last year, South Hobart. They're only on 1 point out of a possible 6 from their first 2 last season, so I think that's That certainly did hamper them in the title run-in later on. Probably will hope to hold on to all 3 points here, but Kingborough now with the opportunity to push forward. It's Gutierrez. Just left that one a bit short for Zammit, and Gorry quickly pounced. Gorry to Farrell. Late challenge by Zammit on Gorry. Morton out of his technical area. Stratov's just calmly coming across to have a quick chat.
Yeah, they picked up, I think it was 5 points from their first 5 games last year, South Hobart. Came home like a steam train, took 42 from the final 48 on offer. Went 14-2 down the stretch, but it was that slow start that just saw them fall too far behind the Devonport Strikers, and they could never quite get close enough to reel them in. And they'll definitely want to avoid that again this year, and what is looming is a very competitive league title race. Well, I think we're going to see plenty of the top few teams taking points off each other this year, and we've seen Kingborough look well capable of springing a surprise themselves so far, as Brown smashes that one straight up into the night sky and didn't really get too much distance on the clearance in the end, so a pretty good spot for Nick Zammit to launch the throw. Downs presenting short, that's ignored. Instead, for Brennan, who slides it through, a man in the middle here, and it's denied by Brown. Great piece of keeping, I think. He's kept it out. A great chance there for the Lions to get back on terms. Shot from the middle of the box, and it stays out. And there is that threat we mentioned.
We've seen Kieran Brown, one of his strongest suits is his quick reflex save ability, and that's there again. We saw it against Olympia with a point-blank save from Nkoso, and then the exact same again there. I think it was Gutierrez coming into the box as that one's gone towards the back post. Berezinski trying to challenge with Easton, cleared by Davis. It's the archer, Jack Bowman. Elmi Lazinski couldn't quite keep that touch under control. Now Zammit under pressure from Turner. He's done really well, Jack Turner, beaten one. Now trying to go against Schuth. Turner still with the ball. Schuth standing him up, plays it short to Morton. Morton with a little dink. Stalker elects to punch. Probably a good decision there as Keenan Dowse can turn and fire away. Gutierrez to Brennan. Back to Dowse. Gutierrez. The pace of Brennan here will look to get behind Ludford, but coming across. There's the old Warhorse, and then Kieran Brown elect completely by choice to knock that not terribly far out. Well, he seems to have actually won the throw in there as we have a look at this replay again.
Clever little back heel there in the build-up. Lovely little 1-2. Puts the cross in. Here was the chance for Gutierrez. And he's fired it straight down the middle, and it's exactly a mirror image of what we saw at Warrior Park the other night. Brown just shifting his body across, and the striker pick him out. The keeper does everything right, but the attacker you feel needs to score there, as Morton with a chance at the other end, burning him behind. He's been really good tonight, Nick Morton, buzzing about the pitch. He's got a few to beat here. He looks up, and then forcing him back. Eventually he works it across to Gorry. Gorry plays it in for De Souza. Gave him no real chance, though. Joel Schuth comes across and plays it off the Brazilian very nicely.
We do like to be more complimentary rather than derogatory up here at the Slice of Cheese commentary box. I mean, Kieran Brown did make himself big again, but that is the second week in a row that a striker has hit it straight into him from point-blank range as Zammit turns it over to Souza. Lazinski using his strength well. Well, unfortunately, no one was in the box awaiting his cross. Stalker eager to play it forward. Finds Kansos. Plenty of players back for South Hobart. Keeping pretty much 4 back at all times here with Adam Gorry certainly not bombing on like he has in the previous 70 minutes. Lazinski turns it over to Zammit. Brennan. Back to Zammit. Finds Davis. Keeping possession well here are the Lions. Brennan finally dispossessed in the end by De Souza. I think Lazinski's going to be the victim of the Kingborough slope there with that one. Schuth wants to take it quickly, but Jack Turner just really couldn't be bothered leaving the area that quickly. Gorry battling with Kansos. Kansos ending up running into his own teammate there. Haven't seen too much action on either bench. Both made the one substitution so far. Gorry couldn't get around Davis. He's really come on and done a job in the centre of the park. There's the young midfielder. Gorry down the line. Schuth puts his foot through it. Only as far as Ludford. Good pressure from Downs. Luke Farrell hoiks that one for Jack Turner to run onto. Zammit tried to let that run out, but Turner got there too quickly. Schuth. Kansos. Good close control there from Kansos. No foul given. Lazinski just using his strength well. Now finds Turner. He's got Morton in the box and deflected clear there from Easton. Another corner for South Hobart. So we have a look. A little bit of a push there from Lazinski. Certainly probably got the strength advantage over Kansos, does Albie.
Yeah, slightly different frames between the two. Morton. Oscar Thomas, so Lazinski. Stalker punches away. Clattered into the young keeper there, but not afforded the usual protection the Glovemen get, and they'll intertwine themselves there, and we'll go again with Kingborough's fifth corner of the game. Oh, sorry, South Hobart's fourth corner of the game. The Mortog pushing here for what would surely be the sealer. Bends it back into the Lazinski direction. Schuth away. Jack Bowman. Back he goes to Loic Farrell. And Feral TV will play it in there to Adam Gorry. Drives inside. He's immediately blocked off, so retreats back. Bowman again. Deft little chip looking for Berezensky. He might get on it here, and he'll work it back to Gilly de Souza. South Hobart now with an exercise in ball control. The game within their keeping, although they pull the trigger there, it just floats on the breeze. That's doing some serious work, that wind. That has just picked that one up and completely altered the direction.
I think we'll need to find someone downstairs to come up and give us a weather report for that one. That took a humongous turn in the breeze. It pretty much had none throughout the first half. And
it was a little bit, I think, but the flag's definitely moving more now.
Yeah, the corner flag in front's been our guide. Gorry now looking to take the throw.
We got the report from Walter Pless, who was on the ground in the first half. Said, yeah, there was a fair bit of wind out there at play, so definitely a factor, and we're really seeing it now.
Probably good of both teams to try and keep the ball on the deck in that first half. At us fault. At me fault.
I think that's why we've seen a lot of play at the far end of the ground tonight, really. It's Ludford now, the skipper. To Bowman inside the final 15 minutes of this contest. Nick Morton's had a real presence about him tonight. And Turner, of course, some damage in attack. Lazinski centrally. They go wide for Berezensky, but this will be easily dealt with by Easton. Well, he gets himself into a little bit of trouble. Good harrying here from the youngster. He wants the ball to go out, and it just won't. And in the end, he says, well, I'll make sure it goes out. And in no uncertain terms, blasted away.
I think while he was sizing that up, he just had a quick look at the ball boy on that far side. Does he have a ball in his hand, yes or no? Saw a no and thought he'd just belt it as far as he possibly could.
Give your defence time to get back in position.
Good way to reset.
Alert play.
It's Lazinski. Again, elects not to take this one. It'll be Bowman. About the furthest upfield we've seen him so far tonight. Launches that one into a wall of Lions, and just a misplaced touch under no real pressure there from the Lions. Will make it the fifth corner for South. The Morthog will stride across to take. South, as we alluded to before, still keeping a good 4 players back at all times. It's Morton towards the back post. Cleared eventually now to Souza. Plays it to Turner. Turner does well to keep it in. Beats one and then wins a corner for his side. So South Hobart doing a very good job just keeping it at their end of the field here as time ticks on in this second half.
Just looking for that goal that would all but ice the game at this point, 3-1. Completely out of the realms of possibility, but you have to say with a 3-1 lead and under 15 to play, it'd be pretty unlikely. Adam Gorry to take. Stands it up into the breeze, it goes away. Volley first time, falls for Lazinski. Blocked again, real bodies on the line from the Kingborough defence. Very good stuff, and Bowman comes across and clears it, but you got to praise the commitment of the Lions defence there, really just jumping in the way of these shots. And it was a dangerous moment again for South Hobart, but they can't quite find the killer blow just yet.
Yeah, we almost saw this in reverse, South Hobart. We had Olympia just not quite having the killer blow, and they really need to try and find one here, South Hobart, as we see a substitution for South. It's Albie Lazinski coming off.
Dominic Easton it was who made that block, so good defensive play from the youngster there.
And coming on is a name very familiar to those who enjoy Tasmanian football, Bradley Lakaseljek coming on.
Yeah, very famous name, real Tasmanian footballing royalty there. Bradley Lakaseljek, another one of the South Hobart youngsters, as we'll see the Lions making their switches. It looks like Brenton Muir is set to come on.
Kansos, I think that's coming off.
Indeed it is. Muir for Kansos here after 78 minutes of play. Sousa flicks on. Ludford. Intercepted. Keenan Dowse. Joel Schuth. It worked. I'm not sure he meant it, but South Hobart quickly back in possession through Gorry. Couldn't quite get enough. The wind holding it up there. His enemy as he tried to spring Morton behind the lines. Zammit now to Downs. Surrounded there. Jack Turner just grabbing the shirt of Chris Downs, who hits the deck and says, I'll give myself a chance just hit one of these exquisite free kicks of mine.
As we keep going with the weather report theme, we got official statistician and Andrew Howe telling us it's 10 degrees out there and claiming it's not so balmy. Let me tell you, Andrew, 8:42 at the Den on any night. When it's 10 degrees, that's balmy.
Yeah, look, I was praising Kingboroug's work to get sponsors earlier in the night. I think later in the year when they're holding functions in this box, we might not be so lavish with our praise, as this one's palmed away by Brown behind for a corner. It's a lovely place to watch the game from up here at the Den. Great perspective.
If they want a sponsorship who specialises in puffer jackets, we might be slightly more appreciative. They want to aim that for their next sponsorship run.
As the Lions with 11 to play, looking to pull back South Hobart. It's swung into the near post. Can't beat the first man, Morton. They'll get another chance though. Downs again, driving this one in, away by Bowman. The third time for Downs, and it's a save from Kieran Brown in the end. Gets a piece of it. The dangerous flashed effort from Chris Downs, who really has looked their big threat tonight. And again, asking questions of Kieran Brown.
And he's been all over everything tonight, has Chris Downs. He just calmly curled that one with the left foot, maybe just trying to use the breeze to his advantage. And I think he did just get a fingertip on it, did Kieran Brown, as now Downs will take the corner towards the back post. Nearly had a header going there, but Cuthbertson tries to clear that one, or knock that one back in, and ends up off the Kingborough defender. So South, 10 more minutes to hold on here at the Den. Bowman to take the throw as far as Berezinski. Leaks that one in the direction of Feral TV. It's now Dowse. Gutierrez unceremoniously barged into there from De Souza. Howls of protestation from the South Hobart bench. That looked as clear a foul as you'll see from up here. And again, Downs will take charge of the free kick.
Such a weapon. You're so wary about giving away free kicks anywhere in your own half. You've got a weapon like Chris Downs who can step up and conjure something, and plenty of bodies forward here for the Lions chasing this game. Downs is just going to keep us in suspense a little longer as Clomeritas just sorts out the wrestling match in that, and he tells Downs, have at it, and he swings this one to the back post. Brown scrambling again, got a fist on it, and in the end the Lions player stretching for it. It's just cost his team a corner there.
Yeah, guaranteed corner there for the Lions. Just maybe a tad more game awareness as the goal kick rolls slowly across the 18-yard box. One of our favourite bits of pedantry finally leaving the sport at the start of next year.
Yeah, glad that's a good change.
I'm all for that change. Constant annoyance, especially in the playing days where you sit it right back and you just got to wait for the ball to cross, and by the time it gets there, you got to wing it an inch from you.
Yeah, I like that one. Not such a big fan of the wall one, but I like that one. I like the banter and the dark arts that goes into those wall setups. It's right in my wheelhouse, so I'm a bit disappointed they're removing that. But
put the two on the inside, push the other way, curl it round. You're a fan of that?
You're good enough to execute it, then by all means have at it. But unfortunately, we're going to see that gone from the game. But a couple of good changes in there. That one not so much, as the Lions on the attack and attacking with pace too. Just hold up and wait for a little bit of support here. Gutierrez, it comes in the form of Zamet. Stands across up to the back post. Nodded back. Hits the deck, and it's well defended in the end there. Oscar Thomas works it away. Now Nick Morton. Everyone sucked up to halfway here. There'd be a chance to get him behind, but before they can spring that chance, absolutely clattering into Morton was a shoot, I think, and he will get a slice of cheese for his trouble.
Yeah, it didn't quite have to dive in so hard there, did Joel Schuth. That's just how he plays the game. But Morton played the ball well behind Gorry and just left the leg in there after he played the ball. First slice of cheese for the day. 83 minutes without one. It's pretty good going in the NPL TAS. Mr. Sousa doesn't have a whole lot to aim for up top. We've just got Jack Turner sitting his nominal centre forward at the moment. Morton down the line in the Lacquer Seljack direction. Kingborough trying to set it up. Oh, that's a short pass from Cuthbertson. Lets in Lacquer Seljack. Sliding challenge from Schuth. And he's off.
He's in big trouble.
2 in a minute for Joel Schuth, and that'll see the Lions captain given a slice of tomato.
Oh, disaster here. He's only been booked 30 seconds earlier. He lunges in again, and Stratos Pomeritas says, have another one, and that will end the Lions captain's evening, and we'll see him out of a future fixture too. So that's a frustrating one at this stage of the game for them, and really dents their chances of getting back on terms. South Hobart should be right from here. We'll have another look at it. Lacquer Seljack, and it's just unnecessary. It's late. It's from behind. It's just a total brain snap for me.
Yeah, put in the silly column, that one from Joel Schuth. Both those yellows were not really entirely necessary. Didn't have to make the challenge on either occasion. He had plenty of covering defenders and just a bit of exuberance there from the Kingborough captain for the evening. It was Morton over this dead ball. Plays it low and nearly through the legs from Hugh Ludford. Good save in the end from Brown. It's come off his Achilles. As we have another look at that one. Morton with a clever low free kick. Ludford got there, and I mean, Stalker didn't know a whole lot about it. And now Morton towards the near post. Another delicious delivery. Oh, crunching challenge from Berezinski. Play on. Kingborough not terribly happy about that, given the last two challenges of Schuth, but I do think that one was a bit cleaner. Morton just coolly lays it back to the centre of the park, where Bowman has got plenty of time and space. Like Farrell can just put his foot on and try and slow the pace down. The Archer to Sousa. South Hobart again exercising that good display of ball control. Morton to Gorry. Gorry with the low cross. Stalker bobbles but claims it the second attempt.
Been informed we've had the International Space Station flying over here at Lighwood Park. The great water plus onto that one. It's a very sharp spot, and not something I'm accustomed to seeing. Not that I would have had a clue what it was, but yeah, come down to Lighwood Park, see a great game of football.
Oh, don't blame them.
And the space station too. Maybe they have positioned themselves over to have a look at the action, just see the final moments here.
They're probably slightly out of Wi-Fi range to get the stream, so why not just move it slightly to come over Kingborough?
Just get the satellite position, bang. We'll have a little look-see down here at Lighwood. But 4 minutes left to play. The Lions down to 10 men, which is going to make this very tough for them. But they might have a chance if they can get in behind here. But 2 men for South Hobart back, one of them Ludford, showing his experience, and we'll just eat up a few more seconds. Time becoming an enemy for Kingborough, and South are going to eat up as much of it as possible. There's no doubt. And 3.5 to play. It's going to take a real late show for all the 10 men of Kingborough. who've given a good account of themselves, but South probably good value for their lead over the whole 90 minutes, I think, is Renton Muir with our referees as well. Good to see him out there. There's Stalker, plays it to Cuthbertson. Stalker to the Stalk, that's a new one. Stalker wasn't the keeper last time. The big Stalk was here as Gutierrez goes flying to the deck after being pushed from behind that.
We'll keep that one up our sleeve for the rest of the season. As Downs pretty much on the halfway line. Implores the rest of his team to get forward. The 10 men on Kingborough. 3 minutes plus stoppage time. It's Downs towards the back post. Eventually cleared by South. Douth does well. Just didn't quite put enough sauce on it. And the Archer gets across to thump that one clear. Acrobatic save there from the ball kid. Must be using some of the gymnastics taught behind us here at the Gymnastics Centre. Stouse throws it in. Turner, cleared by DeSouza. Zammit and Lakaseljack going at it. Trying to turn is Gutierrez. Now Keenan Douse, what kind of delivery can he put in? He goes low to the near post. Ludford, in the end, clears that one comfortably. It is a booming throw launched in the Cuthbertson direction. The Archer calmly passes that to Morton. South Hobart will try to keep the ball as much as possible, you would think here, but they turn it over. Forward by Muir. Out for another Kingborough throw, so they're knocking at the door here, Kingborough, not with a huge amount of urgency, but with only 10 men in prime position.
No Joel Schuth for the long throw, but that's a pretty good purchase. Flicked on over the head of Downs, attacking it as Zammit. It was at an awkward height, and he tried to direct the volley. It was always a low percentage shot, and couldn't get it on target. And Kieran Brown will surely eat up his full allocation here as South try and wind this one down.
Big fan of Dogger Brown still rocking the Predator boots there while standing on the sideline. I'm a huge fan of that.
Oh, just in case.
Just in case. Yeah, so needs to last minute ride himself on the team sheet one of these games.
Well, someone comes up a bit sore in the warm-up. Might just have to insert himself. Maybe Huey Ludford comes down with an injury pre-game. Yeah, hasn't totally ruled himself out, but unlikely to feature, I'd have thought, as South just possessing the ball at the back here. Gorry with a misplaced pass. Couldn't pick out Turner, and Zammit will take it quickly as he must. Davis crunched into by Morton. He was done no favours there. And now Morton turns and tears off towards goal. Morton from distance. It just sat up too much in the breeze. It was the right idea. He knew it was going to sit up in the breeze and catch the keeper out, but it just held up far too much. It's like it just hit a wall.
Yeah, I'd love to see what the what the wind is like out there at Lighwood Park. It's certainly blowing a gale by the looks of that Morton shot. Every other time you'd think that would have rested on top of the net or maybe snuck in, and it held up a good 5 yards short as Farrell aims for Turner. Muir, who contesting with Turner's gone to the ground. Jack Turner, oh, good strong challenge. Turner leaves the elbow in, and then, well, somehow it wasn't quite the fair challenge that I deemed it was. Wouldn't mind seeing a replay of that one.
Yeah, Turner coming up against Easton. He just knocked it past him and just ran straight into him. And he's a strongly built lad, Jack Turner. He just bounces off people like a wrecking ball. As Jack Turner, Easton alleged to have infringed, and it looks like Gilly DeSouza might fancy himself, although I can see them just working this one wide and eating up a bit more time rather than taking the direct shot. Morton is lurking in space and could be an option here. Let's see what the Brazilian opts for. He does just opt to knock it across to Gorry, who in turn plays it to Jack Turner, who shield this one away. Just protecting the ball, turning and going, looking to draw the foul. Didn't. One back by Gutierrez. Here we go. Last chance saloon perhaps for the Lions. But Oscar Thomas breaks it up. Immediately turns it back over to Sousa with an up and under. That'll probably go the opposite direction given the wind. It does in fact. Jakey Brennan against his former team couldn't win it. Brenton Muir Is it to Easton? The offside flag had been raised very high up the pitch. And that'll give Kingborough another chance to swing a ball in. Can't think there'll be too much stoppage time. There hasn't been too many moments in this second half that have caused the game to pause. So get everyone up there and let Chrissy Downs just sit this one up into the window, I think will be the play.
Have a shot.
Well,
not the most ridiculous idea.
Yeah, given the wind, could be tough, but he's going to put it into a dangerous area there, and it's through to Brown, who parries away. Got all the way through to him. Scrapping there was Muir, I think, and in the end, it's gone out of play. But he had to be alert, Kieran Brown, as he has all night. Chris Down just causing problems.
The keeper's got to be... It's gone over the head of Turner. It's bounced. Kieran Brown, good reaction. It's full time. Blown by the referee. South Hobart, despite a few challenges and hiccups throughout the game, managed to hold on for a 2-1 victory after going behind to a wonder goal from Chris Downs very early on, but they dominated possession, dominated shots for the rest of the game, and it's a well-deserved victory for Ken Morton's men. Kingborough Lions fought valiantly throughout the match, never really completely out of it, but I think that red card to Joel Schuth in the 84th minute really took the sting out of the tail of any promising late attack. And South Hobart will go away the victors, as we'll probably have a look at the goals shortly.
So this is what would be the game when... Oh, no, I was going to say it would have been the game-winning goal. Berezanski's deflected shot that just ended up popping up beautifully. But we'll start off with Chrissy Downs taking us by surprise that it wasn't Gutierrez and catching out Kieran Brown. Hugh Ludford with a valiant effort. Couldn't get there, but just stranded was young Kieran Brown, and Chrissy Downs takes full advantage, just punches that one in there. Really an even more impressive feat given the win, but South Hobart responded almost immediately. That man Gorry was far more effective tonight down the right, and he puts the cross in here. Stalker, well, he had to get a hand to it or Turner was going to bury it. Unfortunately for him, it landed on the left foot of Nick Morton, who just picks out the bottom corner with a very smooth first-time finish there from the Morthogs. So it was an almost immediate response from South Hobart. That it came 2 minutes later. We had to wait a while for our next one into the second half. And it was one of the stranger goals you see. The keeper, wrong-footed, just pops it back up to Turner. His first-time shot, bang, deflects twice off Schuth into the keeper and then just stands up for Turner, who just dissects the gap between the two. And a real comical moment there, but that was the goal for Jack Turner. He wasn't sure he'd actually been awarded it at first, but he was indeed, and that was the tale of the game here. Kingborough with their captain, Joel Schuth, getting 2 yellow cards in the space of a minute in the 84th, really killing off any late hope. But I think on the balance of play, that's a fair result for me, Paul.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with that. They certainly had the majority of possession. Did South Hobart. Adam Gorry always looked a threat down the right-hand side, and I think they did, compared to the game on Friday night, I think they enjoyed playing on the slightly larger pitch that Lighwood Park has to offer. They could really use the width of Einen in the first half, Berezanski in the second, and then I think Loic Farrell, Oscar Thomas coming back solidified the lineup, and they'll be happy to walk away with the 3 points here, South Hobart, and move on. And they'll have a slightly longer break than everyone else, so they're back on this weekend, South Hobart.
I think the next game is Hobart Zebras next Tuesday, so that'll be an absolute cracker. So they'll have the weekend off, and yeah, that'll be their next action as far as I'm aware. The Zebras in action against Clarence tomorrow night's the next one. Then on a Saturday, Riverside make their debut into the NPL TAS against a returning Glenorchy Knights. That one will be at Riverside's home ground, so debut in front of the home fans there. Huge game up at Valley Road. Devonport making their first hit out for the year against that impressive Olympia team we saw from the other night. And of course, we've got the Women's Summer Cup final as well. Super Saturday of football. Doesn't stop there. Monday, we've got Laka Seljuk Cup qualifying rounds. As we mentioned, Tuesday night, South Hobart, Hobart Zebras, a footballing fiesta here in March, Paul.
Yeah, well, the roster's turning in turn in favour of the fans this March here. There's something for pretty much every second day for the next few weeks, which you'll certainly be sick of my voice by the end of that, I reckon.
And we look forward to bringing it to you. That's all from us here at Lighwood Park tonight, from myself, Andrew Cooling, and Paul Hunt, and the dream team at Buy On Stream, Ash and Vlasta. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.